everybody.
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel.
Brian is here.
And I'm here today. And Brian, I see you have your teacher stuff here again. We did that rowdy to rapid the other week. And what are we doing today?
Well, I mean, yeah, we talked about this whole spectrum of bikes.
Continuum.
Continuum of bikes, from basically mountain bike to TT bike. But then time trial bike. But then we kind of realized that there's another continuum.
Yeah, there's another axis to this continuum here. I've got a red marker here. How about this?
You put on your teacher hat.
I'll put on my teacher hat there today and say, I think there's another continuum that runs up and down in here, somewhere in the middle. And I want to focus on cruiser to city bike. And it all depends on the ride position and the comfort. How about that? Let's show folks what we're thinking today.
Sounds good.
Brian, what are you doing now?
I'm finishing the diagram.
You're finishing the diagram?
Yeah.
What are you writing? Cruiser on the...
I got cruiser down at the bottom. And I got city up here.
Well, hey, can I clean that up for you again?
I mean...
Let me show you a cleaned up graphic about how this might look.
But it's a whiteboard.
Let's take a look at this one here.
You got a chalkboard?
I do. I have a graphic.
Oh, okay.
Because it has to do with production value, as we learned last week.
This is high production.
This is high production value. So we list down here on this continuum that goes up and down, somewhere between a beach cruiser bicycle and a city bike. And I'd like to take apart each one of those separately. So here's how that part of this continuum might work. I think what led me to divide them up like that, Brian, was the ride position and what you want to do with that bike. If you recall 2 weeks ago, what was the first question I said? What are you going to do with it? Well, if you want a bike that you're just going to cruise around with, maybe go to the market and have a basket on the front and go down the beach boardwalk, well, and you want to sit up nice and tall and have a comfortable ride, well, that's your cruiser. On the other hand, a city bike might be a more neutral position, and in that category, we'll dump those out. How about that? Can we take them apart?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. All right, let's look at cruiser first. So everybody's seen these out on the street. And
Classic Electra.
Classic Electra bike, and gosh, they're so fun. They're beautiful to watch, and they're fun to ride.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm doing a century on one.
Well, you heard about the guys. You guys heard in what was that? Not Steamboat, Unbound. Did you put the guys in Unbound?
I saw somebody Unbound.
Three guys picked up Walmart cruiser bikes. And they did the 200-mile Unbound.
Oh my gosh!
On Walmart cruiser bikes. You know what? One thing they changed was changed one thing: saddle.
The saddle, because I would not be sitting on one of those really wide saddles. That wouldn't work for me.
Well, I think that's an important thing about the position, the ride position of a cruiser bike is really comfortable for your back and your shoulders because you're not leaning forward. You don't have any weight on your hands.
Correct.
But because you don't have any weight on your hands, all that weight is on the saddle.
Absolutely, on the saddle. So, in this category, I listed beach cruisers, but it is a comfort riding position. You're pretty much up and down. Let's go on to the next category, and let me see if I can't get that loaded here. That would be the cargo category. And in the cargo category, and again, you're gonna maybe be in a comfort or a neutral position. A neutral position is slightly forward, but this is that bike, Brian, that you're gonna go to market with, that you're gonna haul the kiddos with if you're going to school. And once again, this is not something that you're looking for speed or distance. This is something that's utilitarian. And these are not new.
This is not a new thing.
No, I mean, gosh, you think about many years ago, this is how milk was delivered in some of the early stages of bicycle use as a tool and delivering products to different companies. Yeah, cargo bikes.
And just to caution, is the wormhole that is cargo bike design is it in the front? Is it in the back? Is it super long? Is it how is it set up? There's
Absolutely.
We could do a whole month's worth of series about
Absolutely, yeah.
about cargo bikes.
Yeah, so you got to just think about, once again, that's a pretty, if you look at this guy here in my example, that's a pretty neutral position, maybe a little bit forward. But then I want to scoot over into the other end of the spectrum and look at a city bike. Once again, the first question to ask yourself before you go to buy one of these things is, what are you going to do with it? So in the city bike category, this is what I put in there, Brian. I put in, this is a great commuter bike. You can put some saddlebags on there, you can drop your laptop in there, you can put your lunch in there, whatever you need. And I also put in here, this is a great fitness bike. Once again, a neutral riding position, maybe a little bit forward. And you can go out on your bike path and go for fitness rides. I don't think you're going to be, once again, doing a double century.
No KOMs on that.
No KOMs on a city bike, but certainly it's going to get you around town. Yeah. So, Brian, what are your thoughts on this Continuum?
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice way to lay it out, because just our tendency to look at speed and efficiency. You're not going very fast on a cruiser bike.
Nope.
They're usually really heavy. But that's what they're for. They're just meant to cruise and go down the boardwalk, and at most you're going to get a 3-speed out of it. So you're probably not climbing any steep climbs. Cargo bikes, also by design, are going to be really heavy, just because there's all this extra bike to carry stuff. And a lot of them are e-bikes these days, so you can carry an extra 50 pounds with you.
Oh, you just touched on it, didn't you?
Did I open a can of worms?
I think you opened up another can of worms. E-bikes. Let me put that over here on the side. I want to put a pin in that one. Okay. Let me put a pin in that one.
Right.
Okay. I want to come back to e-bikes.
Put that in your back pocket.
Okay, got it. In the city.
And the city bikes, if you look at a city bike, most of them, they kind of look like a road or older mountain bike, just with different handlebars.
Different handlebars. Different riding, a little bit different riding position.
And so I think you're going to get more versatility out of a city bike. But then again, you're probably not throwing 50 pounds on a city bike.
No.
But they're going to be lighter, more manageable if you're throwing it in a bike rack, or if you have to take it on the bus or whatever.
Absolutely.
I imagine getting a full big cargo bike on a commuter train is probably not the easiest thing to do.
So back to your graphic here. We started
our graphic.
Our
You
graphic.
drew on this too.
Okay, yeah, I've got the production value here. But when we previously talked, we had rowdy to rapid, and now we talked about cruiser to city. But what's the one question they have to answer first, Brian?
What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do with it? Because every one of these in here can meet that need somehow, some way. Cool. So hopefully this was a little bit helpful.
If not, I hope it was mildly entertaining.
Mildly entertaining. And once again, I'm going to pull that pin out, Brian, because I want to do an episode, and I think I just want to call it E-Bike 101. Just to talk about the things that, gosh, you hear about them all the time. Their rebates are coming. And wow, once again, the big question, what are you going to do with it? Because you could use this same Continuum, left to right or up and down or however you want to approach it, and tag e-bike on it.
There's definitely an e-bike. Maybe you don't get an e-TT bike, but you definitely get e-road bikes and e-mountain bikes and e-city bikes and e-cruiser bikes. So
yes, you do.
They're all over the place.
They're all over the place. So let's pull that pin back out and we'll talk about that here in a week or so. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. In the meantime, go out and ride.
Oh, but before you do that, figure out what you're going to do when you're riding.
Yeah, what are you going to ride today? Yeah, going to go out and ride, going to have some fun.
And you keep the rubber side.
Oh. And I heard a good one today
What'd you hear?
from Nate Henderson. He said, get strong, stay strong. I like that. All right, y'all. See you next time. Bye now.